am going to tell you a story about how I grew up just a regular Canadian girl. A story about how I dreamed so hard that my dreams came true. When I was young, I had a vivid imagination. With that imagination came a belief in magic. Now, magic comes from the heart. It cannot be seen or touched. It is only known by an inner feeling. As it is, we live in a world where belief is often overpowered by a logical need for physical proof. The irony, then, is that physical proof is only possible if you have a belief in whatever the proof supports. If you do not believe in something, life will affirm to you your disbelief. But we are not told about this when we are being raised in our schools, when we are being groomed to become enslaved in a system that serves only the greed and self-interest of a small few. It is a system where knowledge of magic must be hidden for eternity in order for the abuse of power to continue. Because imagine if we all knew how powerful we were. I knew magic was real until a controlling, mad world told me there was no such thing. Until they had ingrained it into my mind that I needed their system to build a good life for myself. That I needed them to feel secure. That I couldn't do it on my own because all I am is human. My young and impressionable mind, once full of hope, wonderment, and awe, eventually started to believe the mad world around me. I stopped believing in magic since it seemed that no one else believed in it. I began to suffer the side effects of my disbelief. What you do not nurture will simply wilt away. This is a fact of life. My inner spark dimmed. My sense of awe and wonder was replaced with a sense of yearning. I became a young woman with an unloving mind because of the life experiences that I eventually endured. Since I had a lack of faith in anything to help me get through it, I felt utterly alone in this world. I realized that I wanted a way out of the incessantly nagging negativity of my mind. With that realization, a part of myself was ready to surrender to a different way. I did not want all of the responsibility for my life anymore, as it was a heavy burden to carry. I had also started to notice that the system we had been prepared for was crumbling at the seams. They couldn't save me either. I was sick and tired of feeling like a helpless victim in the movie of my life. I wanted to be the hero. I felt that I could be so much more than what I had turned into, but I didn't know who I truly was or how to get there. Then one day, and in just one fleeting moment, I felt the magic again. After decades of disbelief, I felt a spark ignite inside me. I felt a moment of pure love, and after what felt like a lifetime of not knowing that love, I was hooked in just one dose. I followed that love all the way to my destiny. I knew that if I had found it in me, then others could find it in them. I knew I was not the only one. I was not more special or more deserving of this love. I was this love, but so was everyone else. I knew this love was inside all of us. I knew it could spread like wildfire through a universal life force vessel called the heart. I knew a way out of our strife, our pain, and our confusion. I knew a way out of the inner conflict in our minds that was being reflected back to us in our physical world. I wanted anyone who had ever experienced pain or grief or felt alone to know what I had discovered. I wanted all of my friends and family to know it too, and to feel its peace, but I just didn't know how to get them to believe me. I was so engulfed by my inner light and living in a state of trust that I started doing things that did not make sense to those around me. I was diagnosed with psychosis, and finally, they all thought they had an answer about the way I had been acting. I was perceived as someone who had lost her mind. They didn't think the Heather they knew and loved was home anymore. I was brushed off as someone who lives in her own little dream world, someone who had lost touch with reality. I watched them go back to their logical reasonings. I I was there. I watched them go on with their own lives as I stood, like a stubborn bull, firmly planted in my belief. Part of me shriveled up at the notion of being misunderstood, but the other part of me, the knowing part, stood strong. I did all this to prove my unwavering belief in a love deeper than I had ever felt, and it came from inside me. Still, I did not know how to get them to believe me. I did not let their disbelief stop me. I knew that we were all being shown a version of reality that we believed to be true. It is no wonder they were comfortable in their ways. A belief in magic would defy all of their own logic's reasoning. With a belief in magic, morality would be questioned, and rationality would go out the window. It makes sense, then, that if one did start to believe in magic, and on that journey to discovery, it was affirmed over and over to them that indeed, magic does exist. It may appear to others as if they had lost their mind. To some, magic cannot exist alongside logic. And so, that journey has brought me here, to the discovery that maybe, if we believe they can coexist, then they can. That we can be grounded in reality and in our humanness, while knowing that we are one with everything and connected always to our otherness. That magic exists, and so does logic. They do not have to battle each other. They can serve us peacefully together, as a united team. The acknowledgement of this truth by humanity will happen in an instant. It will happen telepathically, through your heart. It will wash over you in a wave of emotion, a release of the past, a letting go of future expectations. All that remains will be the truth of the lighthouses that we truly are. It is not just by coincidence that you are listening to this. Well, it is, if you believe it is. I never believed in coincidences. I believed in synchronicity. I believed in myself. Heather is a flower that grows in Scotland. It grows on moss-covered bogs and barren land that can no longer produce vegetation. Even so, wild heather finds its way to burst through its surroundings, displaying all of its differing shades of violet to the world, as if to say, "Look, here I am. I have grown in all the places you thought I never could." I never gave up on me. I was all I had. I chose myself. In this world where every man is to fend for himself, who else was going to choose me? I had to choose me. It was my destiny. We all came here with a purpose. Knowing this, we move forward together towards a peaceful world, a magical world that is here to help us. A world that will arouse our senses. A world we do not have to navigate alone. A world that is ready to open us up to our true paths. I see the bigger picture now. I can see beyond the stormy sky. And let me tell you something. The rainbow after the storm is everything I imagined it to be.